Hello everybody, my name is Bruce Gilman and I'm from Lieberman Research, and the purpose of today's video is to show everybody how to use our SOTA application for market research to collect surveys on our handheld device, the iPod Touch. This briefing is going to show you how to use the devices for collecting your surveys. I'm going to show you how to keep the devices charged so you don't lose power, so you can work for many hours collecting the surveys. And I'm also going to show you how to upload your data over the internet when you're done with your shift or when you're done with your field period and all your data is collected. You're going to need to find a Wi-Fi hotspot and upload the data to us. So we're going to start with we have two kinds of devices here. They're both iPod Touches. This model here is a little newer model. It runs on the iOS 4. It has put it back on. It has a camera in it, so occasionally you might be asked to take a picture during the survey. We don't use that very often, but we might use that in the future. And this is the older model called the 3G iPod Touch, and this is more commonly used for our intercept projects. So before we start actually showing you how to collect the surveys, I want to show you how to keep the devices charged. So here is a battery charger, you can see, and what we do is we usually send them to you. All the batteries are fully charged and they're already in the devices, but they'll usually work for your entire first day's shift. But if you're going on a project that has multiple days, let's say at a movie theater or a store, every additional day you're going to need to throw out the original batteries, and we're going to send you extra batteries, and you're going to load up the battery charger with new batteries. I'm going to show you how to do that. It's very easy, but I'm going to show you anyway. You just basically load them in this little diagram inside that shows you how to load the batteries. Each power pack takes 4 batteries. You load them up, close it up, and you turn. You turn the little power light on, and there should be a green light charging. If there's not a green light charging, either the batteries you're using don't have any power, or they're dead, or you've put them in the wrong way. But it's pretty easy. You should see the green light. So once you do that, you always want to have a power source connected to the iPod. So there's a little arrow on the edge of this which goes up and in to the bottom of the device. Just it slides right in. Should go in really. If it's not going in, don't force it. It should go in easily, so you might not have the arrow connected. And then what you'll see is in the very corner there's a little kind of a charging icon, and you'll see there's a little plug inside of it. That means you're charging. So while you're doing the surveys, you really want to keep this plug connected at all times. If your device does lose power, you're pretty much out. You're not going to be able to do surveys. It's not going to boot up. So you always want to keep fresh batteries and keep your device charged. So when you're not using it, you can just shut it off. And again, each day requires a new set of batteries. So that's how that works. We also provide you with a AC wall charger that should be in your box. Overnight, when you're not doing any interviews, the interviewer or the multiple interviewers who are in charge of taking the devices home, you want to charge them fully by plugging them in when you get home overnight into any regular wall outlet. And it's exactly the same. You just plug in the little connector to the bottom like that, and the other end plugs into a regular outlet, and that'll charge it a lot faster. After a few hours, it'll pretty much be charged fully. So battery charger while you're working, wall charger while you're not working. Okay. So that's it for charging. The next part of the briefing, well, you probably want to hold it maybe over it, is using the devices. Okay, there's a couple. They work exactly the same way that the devices that we have. We're just going a little closer. Yeah, so there's a whole list of icons on the machine. Actually, I think this way is better. There's a whole bunch of icons on the machine. Most of them you really don't need, to be honest, but the main one you need to do surveys is called SOTA. Now SOTA has, oh, there it's clear, is a little tiny orange circle with a blue check mark. You touch soda, and the screen opens up, and you'll see two items. One is sync. We don't need sync. The only time we need sync is when we send the data at the end of the shift. But we also need a survey name. So whatever the name of your survey, it'll be pretty much self-explanatory. It might be the store you're working, it might be the movie theater you're at, it might be the commercial you're evaluating. The name will make sense to you. And all you do to access the survey is just touch. This happens to be a demonstration on a movie trailer. So for whatever reason. So you open the survey up, it'll say the name, there may be a logo on there. This one happens to have a Sony logo. Start the survey, you just hit start. And we're actually going to look at a demonstration right now of a survey. I'm not actually going to show you this survey. I'm going to show you a different one, which is a little better for our purposes. So again, we're on another device. We touch soda. Okay, a little bit different. Start. So let me just see here. Maybe go. So basically, you just answer the questions as they appear. Certain questions will have radio buttons or circles. There's a little bit of a glare there, but to answer, if you see a questionnaire or a question that has, if you have a question that has answers and there are circles, only one answer is allowed to be checked. If you check the wrong answer, you just tap another circle and the check jumps from one to the other. So if you see circles, only one answer is allowed. You hit next to advance. Here is an example of a multiple option question. So if you see squares, that means that the respondent or you, the way you ask the question, you might need to read the list, but multiple checks can be selected. Okay, now if you make a mistake, again, just touch the box and it will unselect or deselect the answer. Okay. Again, another example of that type of question. Okay, here's a multiple select. Most of your questions will look something like this. I do want to show you a couple other things that we can do. The surveys are really not that long. Now, sometimes we'll ask you to rank something. So, for example, this question is going to ask the respondent to rank certain items, 1, 2, and 3. Now, let's say you make a mistake, and that you do not want that to be your third ranked one. You would pick another one, and that would change the answer. All right. Now, occasionally you'll be asked to type in an answer. So this is a question that says, do you have any suggestions? It says enter text here. You simply touch the box. The keyboard pops up automatically and you can just type in your answer there. You can hit done, and same as we always do, hit next. All right, we're almost done with this survey. Now, we may ask you to take a picture of something. So this will use the camera that comes on the device. So again, it's very simple. You just tap the box and it actually opens up the camera on the iPod device. It's taking a picture of kind of what's behind me, but that doesn't really matter. There's a little blue button and it will take a picture, and then you hit use, and then your picture is there to preview, and then you hit next. Okay, there are certain surveys that we may allow you to go backwards, and to simply do that, just hit the back button. Here's our camera again. You could hit back and change the picture. Pretty basic. And now we're done. Now, importantly, when you see a screen like this that says something like "Thank you for the survey," or sometimes we may ask you to give someone a gift card or incentive, you must hit the very last next button, okay? And you must return to where you started. If you do not hit the very last screen to take you back to this home screen, the survey is not final. And if you wind up getting in and out of the program and you don't actually save the final copy, we won't get your data. So it's very important that you make it to the very end. Okay? Okay, so that's pretty much taking the survey. There really isn't a lot of complication to it. If you want to get out of the survey for any reason, you can hit the home button, and that will return you to the beginning. So let's go back in again. I do want to point out that if you need to do a break off of a survey, I want to show you what that looks like. So let's say we get into the survey and I start it, and for some reason I'm talking to the respondent and they don't want to do anything. They don't want to finish, and they walk away, or it doesn't get completed. To break off the survey, all you need to do is hit this little I at the top, hit quit survey, and hit end survey and delete, and that will and that will basically return you. So that does not count as a complete, and that just discards the record from the entire application, and then you get ready. You can start another survey with another person. Okay, there is one more thing I wanted to show you. When you open up your survey at the very beginning, there is a, I don't know if the glare is hard to see there. There's a couple of things at the bottom. Maybe you can do it like that. It's just, yeah. There's a number that says, it's really, maybe a little closer. Yeah, it says completed surveys. Right here it says 2. I've done 2 surveys on here. So while you're doing your field interviewing, that number will keep increasing. Now, as you continue to upload surveys, that number will not go away. It will just keep accumulating. So if you're an interviewer who had a device, that device will continue to collect surveys. So by the end of your study, if let's say your quota was 50, that number should be at 50 at the very end. Okay, but we're just going to cancel out of that. So that's kind of part 2 of the briefing. We went through charging, we went through surveying. Now the final step I'm going to explain to you is to how to upload the data. All right, so to upload the data to us, you have to be located at a Wi-Fi connection. It could be a router in your office. It could be at a Panera Bread. It could be at some free Wi-Fi cafe that you might find, or a library. But you must have open access, or you must know the security code. Okay, so we're going to do one of each. So I'm going to go on to the first thing we do is we locate the home screen, as I said here. We're going to touch the icon that says Settings. Settings looks like a gear, so it's right there. So we're going to open up Settings, right? And we're going to look for Wi-Fi at the top here. Right now it's off, and it should be in the off position when you're not uploading data. When you're ready, you touch Wi-Fi. Okay, you're going to turn it on by touching the on button. And depending on where you are, it's going to list a series of networks that might be in your range. And as you can see, all of these are locked. Which means there's a few more. Sometimes it takes a little while for the device to recognize the particular networks around you. So it looks like this one is an open LRE, which is the name of our company. We have one that's open. So that doesn't require any security at all. So once I touch it, you'll see that a little check mark appears, and that means we're connected. But sometimes a check mark appears and the signal could be weak, and it's not the best Wi-Fi connection to make. So before we try to upload the data, what we want to do is we want to verify that we have internet connectivity. So to do that, we press the button at the bottom, and that brings us back to the home screen. From the home screen, it's a little much of a glare, can you maybe hear? Yeah, from the home screen, we want to find Safari. Safari is the internet browser for this device. So here is Safari. It looks like it's blue and it looks like a compass. You touch Safari. All right, that is going to open up the internet browser. So what you're looking at is today's Yahoo page. To move your internet around, you can kind of take your finger. What you want to do is let's just touch a particular, a particular website or a link within the page. anything. Sorry.